I wanted to at least share with you my testimony of how I became a Christian. Yeah, very interesting. I grew up in a Christian, no, excuse me. I grew up in a family that was Catholic. And my father left my family when I was one. And I grew up with my mom and three older sisters. I'm the only boy and I'm the youngest. So four kids, one boy. I was the youngest. Um, there's so much, it's just amazing how many things we go through in our life, different people, so many different things. But yeah, my dad took off. I grew up with my mom and my sisters, and then my one of my sisters became a Christian, and she would not leave me alone. She was evangelizing me all the time, and I was actually engaged to be married, um, to a girl that I knew from junior high. And I did not need Christ. I always believed in Jesus in my mind. I wasn't committed to him. But when my sister became a believer, one of my older sisters, she graciously, lovingly just talked to me over and over and over and over and over and over, and it bugged me to no end. But I finally just decided, why don't you prove her wrong? That's what I was thinking. So I went into the scripture and started reading. And I started reading about Christ. Not that I had never known him about him before, but I never went to church. None of us ever did. But I started reading about Christ. I started seeing everything that he did, everything that he said, who he was, who he said he was. And then I got to the point where I realized, John Paul, do you actually love Jesus Christ? Do you actually love him to the point where you will turn away from your sin, all my little sinful habits, which I loved? Will you actually turn away from those for Christ? And when I saw that I was so slow to do that, in fact, I didn't want to do it. It occurred to me, I think I'm actually maybe not a Christian. I know how to spell Jesus, but I was like, I actually don't think I'm a Christian. I'm so committed to my way of life. I didn't want to leave it. So there was an earthquake around that time. This was the fall of 1987. And I started reading my Bible a little bit more. And I was reading about earthquakes and end time, all this kind of stuff. And it scared me. And all of a sudden it occurred to me that if I become a Christian, the girl I was engaged to, who is, as much as I could tell, nice girl, but as much as I could tell, I really, really loved her. I was going to have to break up with her. I just knew that was probably going to happen. I didn't know the verse, but I knew it was probably going to happen. And then all of a sudden I started thinking, oh my gosh, I don't know that I can cope with this. And I was miserable, miserable, miserable for days. And I could get no relief, no relief, no relief for days. And then finally one night, I remember getting out of bed and putting my feet on the ground and praying and saying, God, I think this is you. I think this is you. You're calling me to be a Christian. And God, I cannot see how I'm going to be able to break up with this girl, because we thought we loved each other so much, which in a sense we did for that stage of life, for, But I just became willing to do it. I said, okay, God, I'm willing. I'm willing. I'm willing to follow you. I'm willing to break up. I'm willing to this. I'm willing to that. I will go wherever you want me to go. I will do whatever you want me to do. And that's all I got to. I mean, that point right there, with my feet on the ground, out of bed, praying at like probably 11:30 at night. I was crying, and all of a sudden, I realized, oh my gosh, I just became a Christian, and I did, and all of the pain was gone, and I knew what I had to do. 2 Corinthians 6:14, thou shalt not be unequally yoked. I knew that was coming. So I had to tell her I became a Christian. She was from a Jewish family, lovely family, but it all broke up. But I was on the road with Christ, and I was very excited, in a sense, to see what he would do. So that's my testimony. Very brief, but that's how I came to know the Lord. He did actually, God did show me my sin. I knew that. God did show me his glory. I saw that. He showed me how much I truly did love sin more than him. John chapter 3. And when I saw all of that, and Jesus saying, if you love me, you will keep my commandments, and I did not want to keep his commandments, I realized, I don't love you. I don't love you. That's when I repented. When I finally realized God would send me to hell. And that scared me so bad. But God opened my eyes. I became a Christian.